Ladies and gentlemen, this is just a quick video reminding Florida you definitely need to pay attention because, as I was mentioning, the models are now windshield wipering back to the west. So this is the latest GFS. Wait, no, this is the latest GFS. This was the last model run. Same hour 30. Clearly west, west. Now we're looking at hour 48. This is the last model run. This is the new model run. This is the last model run. This is the new model run. So clearly, Dorian is projected to come in a little west. Last model run, new model run. And so, that is a big deal. If it continues to trend this way, we've still got about 3 days left, then it could mean a landfall for Florida. Hour 60, the last model run, this model run. The last model run, this model run. Now, an hour ago, I said if the 18Z GFS comes in west, can we agree the model windshield wiper has begun to Newton's cradle back to the riskier side of peak hurricane season or no? This is because the UK Met ensemble has now started to trend west. Eric_Heat, UK Met ensemble models still say, hold your horses. Still a good chunk take this into South Florida before turning north. As Tropical Tidbit said, even a 1 mile per hour difference in forward speed could put Dorian 72 miles further west than models are suggesting. And so, if you'll see a lot of the tracks still make it into Florida. 12Z guidance so far, FB3, GFS, GFS Legacy, CMC, and UK Met have all trended a little back to the west with forecast track of Dorian. All so far, except for the CMC, keep Dorian's eye offshore of East Florida coast, but barely. CMC bounces the eye on and off the coast from Titusville, Jax. Jack Sillen, who's always chilling with the cool weather info. Statistically, the UK Met had the lowest error out of the models in terms of track over the course of Dorian's life, but that doesn't mean it will continue that way in the future. Matthew Petrovic, where is it taking it now? The UK Met nailed Irma. It was the only model that took it west. Somewhat similar setup, weak steering flow, moving east to west, slow moving, expected north turn. They just didn't know when. Giovanni Lorenzo, showing that the UK Met ensemble mean is right over Florida and up the coast, which could possibly spell a near worst case scenario, because this bitch is bad. And Cranky Weather Guy, who's my unofficial partner in weather superheroing, did an awesome thing. Went back to his own blogs, scanning the Irma Recap blog on September 7th. We still had no idea many models switched from west to east from an earlier run. On the 8th, models switched back to the west coast. On the 9th, it was over central Cuba. Early AM the 10th, southwest Florida. So that, pretty much they didn't get it right to landfall. And so we were about maybe 60 hours out from possible landfall. So that is why I'm being so diligent about everyone in Florida paying attention, because it could be intensifying now. The next time they run a reconnaissance plane over it, I bet it's going to be a Cat 5. Cranky Weather Guy really brought the A game today about receptive room. Watch Central Florida boundary, little space est, which gives room for W band, west bend into North Bahamas. That is not full track potential inland. That is for western extent of MLUL, periphery of cyclone inland, constricting. So watch the Central Florida blue line, see what gives. And so here is kind of the stall zone and the main factors that we will be watching. Our solar storm in the way. And so if you look, there's Florida. And so here's kind of our bend zone. You can come. He's got a bunch of blogs. I highly recommend. I always leave a link for you. Or you get on the Twitter feed, check him out yourself. He's got He's been tweeting up a storm today of good info. But here we look. So yeah, here's the situation. This is a matter of like, life and death for some people is going to be based on inches and angles, miles, and the direction and path it takes. And there are variables. And so this is kind of the swath. The upper level low is an issue. You got quite a few issues, but like I said, there's a region, and his stuff is all sciencey. I go by my intuition and pattern recognition and cool stuff like that. We work well as a team. Steve Cupertino, Donan looks just about as close to perfect as you can get on visible satellite imagery. Wouldn't be all that shocked to see it strengthen even further later today. Terrifying situation for those in the Bahamas. It's got 150 mile per hour sustained winds. The last time we checked, it's got wind gusts of up to 185 miles per hour. It is shown some pretty eye-popping rain totals. The storm surge that would be associated with it would be based on its wind speeds. Anthony Siciliano. Over the past several hours, cloud tops have cooled further around Dorian's eye and are becoming even more organized. Wind field expanding a bit as well. Yeah, dude, that eye is dang near perfect. Tool, perfect circle. And I haven't slept in 2 days. Looks like I'll get to sleep tomorrow about maybe 8 p.m. Cranky Weather Guy, by tomorrow morning, that initial track spread, the trajectory into the Bahamas will be a pinpoint. Everything else should fall quickly into place. If you're in this cone, you long since should have had plans ready to go, but still watching before enacting them. So yeah, the crucial benchmark will be around 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow. And that is when I can rest. And let me ask you, does this inspire confidence? Pretty much up to the minute. Dorian will become a Category 5 hurricane, probably already is. Only 10% of the models predicted it. 1 model, 2 model, and the rest are all down here. Although I said it could be a Cat 5 pretty early on. So this is the first frame, and this is the last frame of 60 frames. And as you can see, it hasn't gotten very west. I mean, it hasn't gotten north very much, which could be a problem. A general visualization of Dorian's core and the 3 plausible scenarios for the Florida coastline and what that might just mean. Not a big storm. If it just slides by, very little. If it just clips, quite rough, honestly. Slow moving too. And so increasing support that it may stay off. Tropical storm to hurricane conditions still possible. And major hurricane conditions decreasing support. But we will have to check that in a couple hours. Mark Sudduth from the NHC 5 p.m. advisory, given that the area of tropical storm force winds could expand, taking into account the uncertainty in the track forecast, a tropical watch has been issued for the east of Florida from Deerfield Beach to Sebastian Inlet. Warning, this is just for entertainment purposes. And there's almost nowhere this little hurricane could produce 121 inches of rain in 24 hours. But that's what the NAM said, I think. Yeah, so crazy, huh? And we had volcano activity in Mexico and Guatemala today. Look at all these active volcanoes down by the area, making things more interesting. And I haven't said this enough, but North Carolina, possibly South Carolina, and Georgia, you are definitely on watch. If this thing hugs and strafes the coast, it can be rough for a little bit of everybody. Beth Carpenter, 150 miles per hour of pure raw power. Gusts measured to 185 miles per hour. An incredibly dangerous storm. Dorian may reach Category 5 strength in the next 12 to 24 hours. Tropical storm warnings issued for Florida. Key messages and last image. And the thing I'm watching for is I watched a ton of the model runs. And a lot of the model runs showed that when Dorian approaches the Bahamas, it does a southwest turn sharply and then comes back up. And so from the Ikama typhoon that missed Japan by needling through the 2 islands, I have a weird feeling we could see that again, where it goes south through the islands and then pops back up, which would put Florida definitely in a landfall category, in my opinion. So yes, with the GFS now trending west, we're back to what could be a worst case scenario with not only a landfall on Florida, but this storm strafing up and down the coast as a pretty strong hurricane, or in some type of hurricane form and fashion. So everybody from Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and even up into any areas, you need to keep an eye on this if that is your cup of tea. And just look at the craziness of this frame. Here's a low we were watching with a 30% chance of development over the next 5 days. Here is a big wave that is monster size, especially compared to Dorian. That may be the New York, New Jersey hurricane I've been talking about since April. Also has a 60% chance of development over the next 5 days. All the model runs have this turning into some type of a hurricane. And sometimes they have two out here by the 14th of September. So it is a good time to pay attention. We got 8 weeks left of super peak hurricane season. I will do my best. And like I said, I ain't going to be sleeping. I'm the best planetary defense commander you guys ever had. And if you do want to support me, I'm got 3 days left of my fundraiser. I got $430 to go. You can send a letter. I love cards in the mail. T. Lewison 5430 Birdwood Road, number 416, Houston, Texas 77096. Or my PayPal account takes donations. I got a Venmo, CashApp, you name it. All your contributions and donations support me every month. This is my full-time job, and I do a dang good job of it. Because who's been telling you these mofos are going to start to trend west? Me. And they're now starting to trend west. I'm not guaranteeing that Florida's going to get hit by this hurricane, but I'm guaranteeing that you need to pay attention if you're on the Florida coast or the coastlines, because this is not our first rodeo, and the models tend to gyrate back and forth as Cranky went back to his own blogs. And so, I will keep doing this, and it's going to be a long 8 weeks, and I do a dang good job. So if you could reward me, that'd be wonderful. Who knows? One day I might save your skin. Okay, God bless everyone. I'll be talking to you in the future when I have good information to pass along. Or just information. God bless everyone.